game and I'm still the same and I never changed just to get a deal, but I'm ballin', ballin'. I came from nothing to something like it's nothing, yeah, you know I done it, that is no discussion, bitch.
Hey, what's up guys, Henry LeBlazion here, and as you can tell by the title of the video today guys, I'm going to be telling you guys how I made over 2 million MT in NBA 2k19 MyTEAM. Now this video is going to kind of be a part 2 to my original video, which was how I made over 1 million MT, but recently a lot of you guys have been commenting on that video, or just commenting on all my recent videos telling me to make a part 2 as to how I continue to make MT and do the things I do on NBA 2k19 MyTEAM, so that is what we're going to be doing today. But before we do dive into these tips, man, there is 2 important things I want to tell you before we dive into them. Number 1 is thank you guys. We just hit 26,000 subscribers recently. I didn't really get the chance to thank you guys at 25,000 because we just kept growing, and I can't thank you guys enough for how insane the support has been this year. It has been truly amazing. We are so close to 30,000 subscribers now. I can taste it, I can feel it, I can see it. So Blazion Nation, thank you so much for the support you guys show. Thank you for pushing me to be the best I can, and let's keep it going. Now the other thing I wanted to tell you guys is before we dive into these tips, I want you guys to keep one thing in the back of your mind, and that is going to be patience. Patience is going to be the most important thing when trying to make MT in NBA 2k19 MyTEAM, and you're gonna hear me say that a lot throughout the video. Patience is very important, so keep that in mind. But anyways guys, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dive into how I make MT, starting off with this place we like to call the auction house. Alright, so guys, when it comes to the auction house, man, some people love it, some people hate it, some people end up selling cards for way too low of a price that they wanted, and a lot of people actually end up buying cards for way too high of a price that they wanted. So today guys, I'm here to tell you guys all the effective methods to work the auction house where you don't even really need to snipe to make MT. Again, it'll come down to the concept of patience, and the whole concept of the auction house is trying to buy low and trying to sell high, whether that's sniping, whether that's landing the cards at the right time, and different things like that. So guys, you might want to go ahead and write some of these stuff down, because when it comes to buying and selling cards, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys the most effective times to buy cards and the most effective times to sell cards. And when it comes to the most effective time to buy cards, a lot of you guys are gonna find this surprising. You're gonna go ahead and check, and I'm gonna be like, I told you so, but that is going to be between 3 a.m. Eastern time and 4 a.m. Eastern time. That is when I have found is the peak of low prices for cards. Now right now I can't really show you. I will be showing a lot of it on Twitter. A lot of you that follow me on Twitter will see that I'll be posting my snipes, quote unquote snipes, aka me landing a card for cheap effortlessly at like 2 a.m. because sometimes I don't sleep. I gotta record, or I gotta be going 12-0 and different things like that, so I'll be awake. But yeah guys, what I've found from the last month of looking at the auction house is the time between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. Eastern time is going to be the best time to buy cards. That is when I landed a diamond T-Mac for 200k. Next day sold them for like 320k, made an insane profit. And if you guys don't believe me, go ahead and check yourselves. You're gonna see I'm right. Now with that being said, you knowing that that's the best time to buy cards, meaning it is the worst time to sell cards. That is when cards are going to be ending for the cheapest price, because again, that's when no one is really awake, and it's like that window where no one's really awake, or people are just about to wake up and stuff like that. Now that means you should not be selling your cards to end around that time. For those of you that want to sell cards and get maximum profit, you either are going to sell it on a Sunday, or you're going to make sure it ends during the day. You never want to make sure it ends during the night, and I'm talking about in relation to American and Canadian time. For those of you that might be in Australia and stuff like that, make sure your auctions are ending during the day in America and or Canada. That is the best time to get the most MT, but Sunday during the day is the peak to get MT. Today is Sunday as I release this video, and you can see Anthony Davis here is going for 470k. This tempts me to sell him. I'm not going to sell him. I'll explain why. It's very selfish reasons, but Anthony Davis is going for peak MT right now. Dwayne Wade is going for 219k MT, and the reason you want to sell your cards on Sunday during the day, specifically between 12 sorry, I lost my speech there a little bit, but what I was trying to say guys is between 12 p.m. Eastern time and 1 p.m. Eastern time, that is when I have found that cards are going for the maximum peak of value. I'm not sure why that window is what it is. I'm assuming that's when everybody's awake and everyone's trying to outbid each other, but I found that when I make my auctions end around that time, that is when I am getting the most MT. What you guys should always avoid doing is when you know a card is coming out to go ahead and panic sell things. Things will always bounce back in price. Giannis, Anthony Davis, Davis and a bunch of other cards are a big example. Now AD you don't really have to worry about up until they start to announce the super packs, so for now he's always going to maintain value, but those are basically the best times to buy cards and to sell cards. Now when it comes to trying to land cards for cheap as well, when you're trying to buy them within that time, you always want to try to buy cards when there's content out. For example, today is Sunday. If it hits 3 a.m., yes, cards will go for a cheaper value, but that is not the best cheap value you can get. For example, on Friday, I think that was when we got these Dwayne Wade packs. When he came out, a bunch of cards were crashing in price for a little bit because again, everyone's like, oh my god, we're getting new cards. People always think the auction house is gonna crash for whatever reason, and they end up crashing it themselves because everyone's like, oh my god, let me put all these cards up before they drop in price. And with everyone thinking that mentality, cards end up going for a cheap price for a small window and then bouncing back up in price. I remember Klay Thompson was going for like 230k right before this Dwayne Wade drops, and if we go ahead and take a look at Klay now, I can assure you he's going for at least 300k. As you can see, 296k right there with 13 minutes to go. So the best time you want to be buying cards is when content is out, and this is also the best time to snipe. Why do I say this, guys? When people are ripping packs, there is only one thing they are trying to see when they rip the packs, and that is that pink diamond Dwayne Wade. Everything else they disregard. Now this is the best time to snipe, and not really sniping players, but actually badges and different things like that. Limitless range over like the Thursday Friday window was actually going for about 3k. I can't tell you how much it's going for now. It's going for about 4k, and a lot of people will be like, oh, that's not an insane value, but if you buy like 20 limitless range badges for 3k and sell them all for 4k, then you're making a minimum like 20k profit there. And it's all about working up slowly. You don't need to snipe a Dwayne Wade for 500 MT and resell it for 400k, because there's like 30 other thousand people doing that, and the chance of getting that is so small unless you have like the fingers of the Flash, man. But yeah, guys, what I'm trying to say about the auction house though, in total, I think I'm talking a little bit too much when it comes to this, is again buying low and selling high, and those times that I gave you guys are going to be the windows. With that, you don't really necessarily need to worry about out sniping people and everything like that. All you have to do is get the crashes at the right time, and that is how I make my MT. I never really worry about sniping. The occasional time I am going to go snipe. When I do it for about 15 minutes, and that's about it. Now when it comes to sniping when a new card is out, what I try to do is I'll try to snipe in the same filter as the card that is released. So in this case, pink diamond Dwayne Wade, he's a shooting guard. I will try to snipe shooting guards because I'm assuming everyone is trying to sell their shooting guard in order to get the new hip shooting guard. So that's kind of how the auction house works. And now we're going to go ahead and hop into the next thing, and that is going to be the packs and the miscellaneous things. Alright, so guys, when it comes to packs and miscellaneous items, there's a common mistake that everybody makes and they don't even realize it. For example, let's say you just opened a 10 or a 20 box and you didn't pull your pink diamond Dwayne Wade, and you're mad as hell, and then you have that screen where it shows you everything you've pulled duplicates of, and most people, they go ahead and they quick sell it without thinking because they just want to dive into the next box. This is a big mistake people make because again, in the concept of patience, they're impulsive, they're in a rush, they want to pull cards, they want to spend their money, and they don't realize how much MT they've given up by quick selling stuff. Go ahead and put the stuff that you pull in your auction house. For example, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna rip a pack here just to show an example. I'm really wasting 10k MT here on a video. Let's at least pull a pink diamond. If we get lucky, that would be crazy. No, we go ahead and we pull an emerald. So now I'm absolutely frustrated, blah 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 blah, and I want to go ahead and quick sell all this stuff without even thinking. Boom, 775 MT. That's what I got. That is a big mistake that people make, and I say this because you can get value out of those logos and stuff. Now you don't want to sell that stuff on the day of. Why? Because everybody else is putting their stuff and they're gonna undercut you. You go ahead and you wait until a Sunday, the most dead season. Again, when it comes to the making MT on my team, it comes down to patience. You don't have to sell everything that day and get your MT right away. You wait a couple days and it's a Sunday and you end up getting more MT because no one's ripping packs and everything sells for more MT. Now when it comes to like emerald and sapphire players, they don't really go for any MT, so those ones you can really just go ahead and quick sell because no one's really trying to buy those. Those are the most commonly pulled cards. But when it comes to bronzes and silvers and heat check players especially, man, if you hold on to those cards until Sunday, they go for a stupid price. So if you ever decide to rip packs, make sure you put your stuff in the auction house and you hold on to it. And same thing goes for all this miscellaneous stuff here. You don't want to just quick sell stuff. Go ahead and put it in the auction house because it will sell. Now the only thing I would recommend that you guys go ahead and quick sell is going to be shoes. Why do you want to quick sell shoes? Unless you use shoes and you put every single one of these shoes on players, you want to go ahead and quick sell them. This goes for 300 MT. If every single one of these, let's say 275 MT, we'll round it down to 250. That's 1K right there in those 4 shoes, and that's only 4 shoes alone out of like 41 here, 16 here, 23 here. It adds up like crazy. When I quick sell all my shoes, I always make at least minimum 15K, and the best thing about quick selling shoes is they don't go towards your collection. So for those of you that are collectors, it doesn't affect you whatsoever, and you can make MT out of things you don't even really use. So if you don't really use your shoes, make sure to go ahead and sell them, because you will make quite a bit of MT selling a mass production of all these shoes, guys. Now guys, this brings me to my next subject, and that is do not stay attached to cards and shoes like stuff, because you're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna use this down the line, and then suddenly it's July and you don't end up using stuff. Staying attached to the cards is the biggest mistake people make when it comes to NBA 2K19 MyTEAM, because you will always be able to get that card back. For example, it's like people that held on to Amethyst J.R. Smith back when you went for 100K. This card is now going for like 30K and stuff like that. A lot of people like to hold on to cards because they think it's somewhat of an end game card. There's always going to be better cards coming out. I fall victim to this. For example, I'm holding on to Blake. Had I sold him way back then, I could have made 300K off of him, but now he's only worth 100K. But again, for me, I'm a content creator. I kind of need to have a certain lineup in order to maintain entertainment to you guys and have a good kind of lineup. But if I was not a YouTuber, guys, Kobe, he's out of here. Anthony Davis, he's out of here. Shaq, he's out of here, especially because they're all going for peak price today on a Sunday. Why would I say that? I know these cards are going to drop in price. How do I know that? On these cover series, guys, what happened? They eventually ended up releasing super packs where you could rip all these players. That only means the same thing is going to happen for these. So again, you don't need to pick these cards up right away, and if you have them, you can sell them. If you're not a serious player, if you've already gone 12-0 for Julius Erving, what do you need a God Squad for exactly? Go ahead and make as much MT as you can, because when the next month comes around, you're going to have a ton of MT, and I guarantee you all these cards are not going to be going for the same price. Shaq, he is currently going up in price. AD is currently going up in price only because they're not out in packs anymore, so they will go up in price a little bit. But again, you don't need to buy these cards right away. I guarantee you after the next packs we get, we're going to be getting a super pack on the next one where you'll be able to pull like the last 4 players, and Kobe, AD, and Shaq will definitely crash in price. There'll be the one card, which I'm assuming will be LeBron, where they don't put in the super packs, which will maintain value. But everything here, guys, you really don't need to hold on to them. Same thing goes for all the signature series and stuff like that. I ended up buying this Brandon Roy for like 500K. I regret it because I held on to him for too long. I could have sold him back when I knew there was a crash coming, but now he's only going for about 350 to 400K, so that's a 100K loss for me there. But this card's so godly, and I know he's going to be staying on my lineup for basically the whole year, so I had really no purpose to sell him. If you don't need cards right now because you already have Julius Erving and stuff like that, you really don't need to keep them. And I know it really comes down to if you're a collector or if you're here to play the game. If you're here to play the game, don't hold on to all these cards. Now, some cards you can hold on to because they really have no value, such as rubies and stuff like that, but cards like T-Mac and all that stuff, you want to sell them because otherwise they're just going to keep going up in price until they eventually drop. You don't know when a pink diamond T-Mac is going to come out, and you know when he comes out, this diamond T-Mac is going to cut in price by half. At that point, you can go ahead and pick him up, finish his collection if that's what you're trying to do, but you always want to make the best out of your MT. So you always want to buy at the right time, sell at the right time, and make sure you do not stay attached to cards, because that always ends up biting people in the ass at the end of the year, especially when they start releasing all these OP cards. It just drops the value of everything, or those super moments packs that absolutely drop the prices of everything except for really Klay Thompson, who's like the god card and the unpullable and all that. But other than that, man, prices will always drop throughout the year. There's no card that is going to maintain its price throughout the whole year. Yes, I'm talking about cards even like Danny Granger. He's really one of the rare ones, because you know we're not really going to get another Danny Granger. If we get a pink diamond or Galaxy Opal Danny Granger, at that point everything is going to be already going for such a cheap price that it won't even matter. So just remember, guys, do not stay attached to cards. I know as much as you want to, you're like, yo, this Kobe's my favorite player and stuff like that, and I fall victim to that myself a lot, but just try your best not to stay attached to cards that you don't really need. If you have replacements that can cover for them up until you pick up a new card, then go ahead and do that. But until then, you don't need to go ahead and pick up cards right now. Like Dwayne Wade right now, if you can sell him right now, make sure to go and sell him, because I guarantee you guys by the end of this week, pink diamond Dwayne Wade is going to be going for 140 to 150K, because we know there's content coming this week. There's moments on Tuesday, there's new throwbacks, we don't know what they are, and on Friday we might be getting theme packs. So until you really know at the end of the week, that is really when you decide what you want to pick back up. Friday is always when I decide, because that's when the peak of the content is, right before the weekend, and that's when I'll pick up cards that I need, or I'll make sure to get ready to sell cards on Sunday for cards that I don't really really need. But yeah guys, that is where I'm talking about. Do not stay attached to cards, because again, with patience, cards are just going to drop in price and stuff like that, and that is why patience is so important when it comes to NBA 2K19 MyTEAM, guys. And last but not least, guys, when it comes to making MT, what you want to do is you want to play Triple Threat Online. This is probably the best mode where you're playing the game and making the most effective amount of MT. Scheduled challenges are not worth it. Weekly challenges not worth it. Moments challenges are worth it depending on the occasion and how long the game is. MyTEAM Unlimited is not worth it. Going 12-0 to get 3,000 MT 15 tokens in a pack, I just don't see being worth the time, unless you're one of those people that can blitz 12-0 and make people rage quit and finish it all in like 2 hours. But other than that, man, Triple Threat Online is going to be the best way to make MT, and this goes back to the whole concept of not being attached to cards. What I will do is I will get 3 cards I know are staying on this lineup forever, and if I was not a YouTuber and trying to make a good lineup, I would sell everything else and focus focally on these 3 players. They all got diamond contracts, so I'll never have to worry about paying for contracts, and now I know that every time I go into a game, I'm going to be constantly making MT. Now, you don't need God cards to win in Triple Threat Online. I'm going to say that right now. People have hooped on me with diamond cards, amethyst cards. They've gone absolutely crazy. It just really comes down to the players you like. I would definitely recommend having a big that can shoot. Having a regular big can be good as well, because a lot of people don't expect it. But Triple Threat Online is really just all about the 3-point game. You got threes, you'll always have the advantage, and you make the most MT out of these because of the ball drops. You get packs out of those. Sometimes the packs are really bad, sometimes ball drop luck is really good, but regardless, you usually end up making like 10k MT an hour if you're winning your games. Now, Triple Threat Online is also good because recently they've actually been putting players into these packs. For example, Ping Diamond Yao Ming, and recently Ping Diamond Bill Walton, who was selling for 100k, who is now going for more now that he's out of packs. So that's one thing to also keep in mind. You kind of want to stay updated as to what's going on MyTEAM if you want to be able to make MT. This is kind of going to go back to the auction house. You guys want to make sure you are following like someone on Twitter, whether it's me, whether it's Shake, whether it's some YouTuber, or the NBA 2K19 MyTEAM page itself, where they'll let you know whether stuff is going on, because that also affects the auction house and can shift it a little. Now, I know I didn't really explain too much on the auction house. I feel like I explained it pretty good, but if there's some plots I'm missing or some questions you guys have, you can always ask me down in the comment section below. But yeah guys, that is really the ways I've been making MT. That's how I've gotten from 1 million to 2 million. It's really just the patience in the auction house, or if I want to play it, I'll go into Triple Threat Online. All of it adds up and adds up. You don't really want to be quick selling things, again, unless it's like an emerald or sapphire player or something you know has the same value quick selling as it does in the auction house. So always make sure you're checking in the auction house before you go ahead and quick sell stuff like that. Again, I told you guys the times for the auction house: 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. Eastern time, which is like early in the morning. That is when cards are going for the cheapest price. And then 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern time, that is when I found that cards are going for the highest price. Sunday is also the best time to sell cards and the worst time to buy cards, and then during the week is the best time to buy cards and the worst time to sell cards. So with that, keep that in mind as you continue to go on. And again, be patient. Just because a new card drops does not mean your card is going to lose value completely. Just be patient with you. Cards like Giannis have gone for 300k at some point, and now he's going for what, 4 to 500k. He's going for a ridiculous price because there is no other card in the game like this Giannis. Like, he's going for 416k, guys, and that's without a 3-point shoot. Someone like Paul George is going for an insane value because there's no really cards to pull and there's nothing interesting. So all the hype beast cards are going to be going for an insane value. But yeah guys, this is going to be the end of the video. I hope these tips helped a lot. Again, if there's a place where I didn't really help you guys too much, make sure to comment down below. I like to reply to you guys, I like to interact with you guys, and I want to help you guys as much as I can as well. But yeah guys, this is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, and for you new viewers, you know you got to hit that subscribe button and join the Blasian Nation. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you all have an awesome day, and take care.